From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
Well, stick around and find out. I can guarantee it's going to be a doozy. Ready or not, here we go with another action-packed adventure for Monday. This is what's on tap on The Wrap. We got the top 5 core cities in the USA and what they all have in common. Wait till you hear this. Are white college-educated women America's biggest problem? We have your names for Planet K218B that you emailed us. And gentlemen, would you hire a sex consultant to help you improve in the bedroom? We're going to test the waters on this one. I'll recap the NBA and NHL playoffs. Another round of head trauma is on the way. Get ready to take the screen test. Plus our usual loose behavior. Saw it on the X. Celebrity cheese, your email from our Gmail. One more thing, and we've got shout-outs to Rat Nation and the Resistance coming up. All right, how was your Easter weekend? Did you have a good one? Did you OD on Peeps? If you did, I'm so envious. I got to tell you, man, there was nothing more fun on Easter for me prior to my type 2 diabetes diagnosis, and this is probably why I got it. I used to sit around with a whole package of Peeps and get a sugar high. Eating Peeps and drinking cold Coke. Oh, it was so good. Yeah, and yesterday I had to settle for, one slice of honey-baked ham because of the honey, side of red potatoes, and a salad. Yeah, thanks for feeling my pain. All right, we start the week with a bit of sad news. Pope Francis has passed away at the age of 88, one day after giving his Easter blessing. And it kind of feels like divine intervention to me. But may he rest in peace. He was the people's pope. So now we wait, because the enclave will vote on a new pope, and when they've decided, smoke will rise from the Vatican. All right, this probably won't surprise anyone, but the top 5 list of America's poorest cities is out. Now, these are all cities with the most people living below the poverty line. At number 5, the city of brotherly love, and it sounds like it, Philadelphia. Number 4 is Houston. Number 3, Chicago. Number 2, Los Angeles. And number 1, the Big Crapple, New York City. Rising in the ranks, a little disturbing news here, because it's 2 of America's fastest growing cities, Phoenix and San Diego. Now, what do all of these 7 cities have in common? Democratic mayors. Longtime Democratic mayors. Now, I'm just going to leave it there and let the results speak for themselves. Now, a poll conducted in March asked where men and women stood in regard to DEI practices, and the results again, a little eye-opening. 74% of white men with no college degree said to end DEI programs. 59% of white men said, these are ones with a degree, said to end them. 53% of white women with no college degree said to end DEI programs. Only 31% of white college-educated women said to end DEI programs, meaning 69% are all for them going on and continuing. Now, this same poll also showed white college-educated women were the only group polled that had a negative view of President Trump. Stats show 50% of white women in America have at least a college degree. So in order to get Democrats completely out of our lives, Republicans need to hold on to who they have, and they got to win over 25% of college-educated white women who vote. My question is what are our colleges doing to our white women? It appears to be targeted to me, whatever it is. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find any stats on how many white college-educated women wear pink hair and have a bone in their nose. Now, on Friday, we talked about Planet K218B, which NASA claims has shown signs of life. But I didn't think K218B was an appropriate name for a planet, so we asked you to send us your names, what your thoughts were. So Fleabag and I, this morning before we jumped on the podcast here, went through them and selected these 5, not in any particular order either. Planet Sphere, Planet Zion, Planet Oz, Planet Ziri, which is pretty good, and Planet Vox. Those are the ones that we thought were pretty damn good. Now, Fleabag came up with Planet X9. I said, that was a movie by Ed Wood, don't you? Played by Johnny Depp. He said, I had no idea. And I'm like, sure, Fleabag. I came up with Planet Sphincter. I mean, in our solar system, we have Uranus, so if there's another solar system out there, I'm thinking Sphincter. Why not? Makes sense to me. The one person we didn't ask, or the one digital robot we didn't ask, is Alexa. So Alexa, Alexa, what did you come up with?
I think Alexa would be a perfect name for a planet.
Of course you do. Why did I ask? All right, Arabella. Mia is a 27-year-old sex consultant who sleeps with men of all ages and critiques their performance to help them improve in the sack. Now, if you're interested, guys, you can find Arabella Mia on OnlyFans. And in the name of research, I checked it out. I'd give her a shaky 5 on a 10 scale. Now, as you know, most men just need a woman who's currently alive, and hell, there's even some who don't. But personally, I think Arabella is nothing more than a hooker with a laptop. Now, the question is, do we give her props for finding a way to glamorize her profession? Think about it.
He waxes his back and his butt crack. Here is Mojo Elliott with Rap Sports.
Alexa, so what if I manscape, okay? I'm going to start with a Lakers rant. You know, they got their ass kicked by Minnesota in Game 1, 117-95. I mean, here they played 82 games, worked their asses off to finish number 3 in the West, to get a home court advantage, and they lose it after Game 1. Now they have to play like their life depends on it with their backs against the wall, and maybe they play better this way. I don't know. But if they lose Game 2, they're done. They're out. The Lakers are a first-round exit. They're not going to go to Minnesota and win 2 in a row because they are a lousy road team. They are a great home team and lose Game 1. Team's in trouble, gang. Team is in trouble. They need to play more intensity on defense, and the bench needs to score more points. They only had 10 points off the bench. Minnesota had 43. That's where the loss occurred, and also the intensity the team played with. I think Magic Johnson captured the whole atmosphere. He said they played like it was a regular season game. So now they got to play like it's the playoffs. And if they lose Game 2 tomorrow, they're done. They're toast. They're fried. Another first-round NBA action. Denver, Indiana, New York, Oklahoma City, Boston, Cleveland, and Golden State drew first blood. In the NHL playoffs, Winnipeg, Colorado, Carolina, Toronto, Las Vegas won their first-round games over the weekend. Edmonton and L.A. get underway tonight with Game 1 in their first-round series. You can see all of my playoff predictions, by the way, on the blog at ratsasspodcast.com. It's right up there for everybody to see. I've laid my ass on the line. So you know what my predictions are. They're right there, and we'll see if I'm glowing like the sun or I burn in hell on these. And it's right there for you all to watch throughout the playoffs. How about my Reds yesterday? My Cincinnati Reds putting up 24 runs on Baltimore yesterday. So proud of my boys. Now watch them get shut out tonight against Miami. Last time they ran up the score, they didn't score a run for 3 games. All right, that's what's up with the Rat's Ass Podcast Sports.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head drama.
All right, are you ready? We are playing the screen test today. Okay, I want you to listen real close to this movie clip and see if you can guess what movie this is from.
I'm going steady, and I French kiss.
So everybody does that.
Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best at it.
All right, just for fun, let's hear that again.
I'm going steady, and I French kiss.
So everybody does that.
Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best at it.
I'll have the answer for you coming up a little bit later on in the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Yes, it is. Let's do a Monday round here. Here's what's happening on the Rat's Ass Podcast X feed. Footlong Flanagan posted this one. If money was no object, what's something you'd want an endless supply of? Chad Grossman, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Bugattis. Man, I want to party with you, cowboy. Absolutely. All right, Glenna Hay said, shoes from all over the world. Naturally, I'd have to travel all over the world to try them on. What is it with you ladies and shoes? You know us guys love you barefoot. Dana Orman said, an endless supply of tall, well-hung men to satisfy my womanhood.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
Oh, thank you, boss. Appreciate that.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, Dick Van Dyke, who was a TV star in the 60s, did a couple of successful Disney movies, is now 99 years old, trying to go the distance to 100. Well, he's taken a victory lap because he and his 53-year-old wife, Arlene, have lasted. Van Dyke is gloating about the fact that he and Arlene have proved all the naysayers who said it would never work wrong. Now, between us, Dick has 50 million reasons why it's worked. All right, love could be in the air for Elizabeth Hurley and country singer Billy Ray Cyrus. The couple were seen offering onlookers some high-quality PDA over Easter weekend. Now, I got to tell you, man, Billy Ray Cyrus, this guy has gotten more credit from a song he did 33 years ago, Achy Breaky Heart, than Mick Jagger has with the entire Rolling Stones catalog. Amazing. All right, the Black Ghostbuster, Ernie Hudson, will take over the role of Combat Carl in the Toy Story franchise, replacing the late Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in Rocky 1 and 2. Hudson is 79, so those of you who didn't get the part should stay in touch with Disney. Ex-NFL Pro Bowler and future Hall of Fame tight end turned actor host Rob Gronkowski has killed the rumors that he was thinking about getting into coaching. Gronk said, "Nah, I'm not getting into coaching. You kidding me? My life is too good right now." Which means basically he's still getting more ass in the toilet seat.
That's just about enough of that.
And by the way, Britney Spears has now been single for 62 days.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Oh, we're going to keep going until she finds herself a man.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, Randy H. from Columbus, Ohio sent us this. I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you sharing your battle with type 2 diabetes on your blog. I've struggled with it for the past 4 years, and hearing how you approach your diet has inspired me to try it your way. Well, Randy, good luck with that. I hope it works. There's never one thing that's universal, but I think when you eat a good diet and you exercise like I talked about, I think you'll have some success with it. How much? I don't know, but I appreciate the email on that. Let me know how it goes, okay? Damien F., Syracuse, New York, said, "What are your thoughts on the stock market 3 weeks into Trump's Liberation Day?" Well, it's playing out just like I told you it would. I said the VIX would get up to around 50, could go a little bit higher, but at 50, that's when you want to start buying small blocks of stock. And if you have the stones to do this, the VIX dropped, the fear index, which is VIX, you can follow it, dropped down below 30. But I also have been tweeting this out too on X that, anything above 30, the volatility is still high. Okay, so that's going to raise stocks, lower stocks. It's going to play up and down. It's going to look like a heart monitor for a while until they get all of this stuff worked out. Now, when it drops below 20, then when it just kind of wait it out till it gets down to around 12, then you can hang on to the stocks, buy more stocks, whatever you want to do. But right now, it's a very volatile market. I think it opened at 34 today, and it closed on, 29 on Friday? Or no, Thursday, because they were closed on Friday because of Good Friday. Brenda B., Medford, Oregon, said, "I'm not one to approach men, but there's a new guy living in my complex who I found out is single. We've said hello a couple of times in passing, but how can I get him to do more than just say hello?" Well, the easiest thing to do in this situation is to drop your purse or a phone and, when you're passing by him, say hello and say, "Oops, dropped my phone," and maybe he'll pick it up for you, and that's your end to start a conversation. Now, if you're hot and he doesn't pick it up, that means he's probably got a boyfriend. Danny O. from Monterey, California said, "You say dating women at work is off limits, but there has to be an exception to the rule. What is it?" The rule is if you don't care about your job. If you do, though, there are no exceptions, Danny. Zip, nada, zero. If you got the fire down below, buddy, for some chick, you have to wait until one of you are no longer with the company. End of story. All right, Eddie K., Muncie, Indiana, said, "What do you think about Joe Biden not getting any takers for his $300,000 fee to do a speech?" Well, here's why.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Yeah. Nobody's paying 30 cents for that speech. Nobody. Democrats want Joe to go away. Go bury your head in the sand in Delaware, pal. All right, Daphne N. from Belfast, Ireland said, "Did you hear we might be deporting Rosie O'Donnell back to the USA? Are you excited to get her back?" You know what? We may have political differences, and she's an American, okay? She's a U.S. citizen. And as long as she's a U.S. citizen, Rosie's okay with me. Cal W., Hobart, Australia. Did you happen to see AC/DC in Los Angeles? Oh, hell no. No. AC/DC and Led Zeppelin, my two all-time favorite bands. But they played at the Rose Bowl here in Los Angeles. And there's no way on God's green earth you could pay me to go see anything at the Rose Bowl. I've lived in L.A. nearly 40 years. I've been to the Rose Bowl one time to see USC and UCLA play football. That's all it took. Okay, there were 90,000 people at this concert on Friday night in Pasadena. 90,000 people. I think that's why they had to hold it at the Rose Bowl. And it cut me out to see my band for the last time. But it's only Brian Johnson and Angus Young. Everybody else is replacements for the gang, obviously. I mean, Johnson's 77. Angus is 70. Pretty good chance this might be the last tour, but I'm never going to say never. But there's no way on God's green earth I would ever go to the Rose Bowl. You know why? Because there is one lane traffic leaving. Think about it. 90,000 people, one lane leaving the Rose Bowl to get out of Pasadena. No way.
Feel better, motherfucker?
Yeah, I do. Thanks for letting me get that off my chest.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, here it is. Not the head test, the screen test. Listen to this clip from 1983. See if you can guess what film it's from.
I'm going steady, and I French kiss.
So everybody does that.
Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best at it.
I love that. Probably the greatest line in movie history. All right, if you guessed Vacation with Chevy Chase,
Correctamundo.
and if you missed it, go see your doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I got to go try out for the Olympic skinny dipping team in a couple of hours, but I do have one more thing for you. A recent scientific study revealed women subconsciously determine whether they like a man or not by his scent. So if you smell like Valvoline, unless she's into cars, probably not going to work for you. But I read this and I thought, what makes sense to me is to wear 3 different kinds of cologne at one time. That way you keep them confused. Do you like that idea, guys? 3 colognes? I mean, it's going to cost you some money.
Let's do some shout-outs to Rat Nation and the Resistance, you hairless monkey man.
I'm just going to ignore her. Welcome to Rat Nation. Ian Parker from Dearborn, Michigan. Kylie Kennedy of Rolling Hills, California. Spike Underwood out of Reno, Nevada. And to the Resistance, those of you who have refused to join Rat Nation, but we know about you. April M. from Tucson, Arizona. Paul B. from Daytona, Florida. Around the world, listeners in Canada, South Africa, India, and the folks in the UK.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Finished, done, finito. All right, be sure to check out the new ratsasspodcast.com to connect with us on the socials, listen to podcasts, join Rat Nation, and read the blog. It's loaded with current events, pop culture, music, the radio wars, sports, the Q&A, sex, lots of sex, and the Dumbass Award so far this year. We'll get together again on Wednesday, April 23rd. Take care of each other, and thanks for dropping by The Wrap.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.
Yeah.